Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. We are back here in Project Joy Live and kicking it off with a great little mini series going back to the Pillars of Joy. We're talking about choices all week this week. So get ready for it now with an all new episode of Project Joy Live. Let's do it. Happy Monday, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to be back with you today, though I admit I am still trying to wake up over here. I've been up for a while, but it's a little bit of a rough one last night. I woke up wide awake at 3 a.m, as one does on the eve of the full moon. So here we are today, and glad to be back with you today. I know I was not here for a little while in dealing with my own well-being behind the scenes. And so really thrilled to be back with you today, though, because it's as much, I've shared this before, it's as much of a joy for me to be here with you as so many of you have shared with me that Project Joy is the foundation of your morning. And I really appreciate that. I truly do. I have a lot to share with you on the show today. So let's talk about it now in the morning brew, and let me know if you're joining us this morning and what's bringing you joy while we get ready for the morning brew. Are you awake yet? Are you more awake than me? That's what I'm trying to figure out over here. Let me know. We've got a great show on tap for you today. We've got to talk about our national days today as we celebrate today. And then for our daily uplift this entire week, we're going to be talking about going back to, I shared with you, we're going to be doing this series about the pillars of joy. What are those pillars that I feel like exist within me to be the joy, to live with joy on a moment to moment basis, even when it's challenging. And so, for our pillar this week, that we're going to be doing 3 parts on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we are going to talk about choice and the power of choice. And it's going to be a good one, you guys. It's going to be a good one. So, on today's show, we're going to lean into the first part of this pillar, which is that there are always choices. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Also, we've got birthdays to talk about today, as well as what's happening with the Breakthrough Show Network for the remainder of the week. And we're just going to kick it off. We're going to kick it off with some good vibes today. So let me know if you guys are ready. If you are ready for some good vibes, give me a little party emoji down in the comments today. We've got Miss Nancy here this morning. Good morning. Good to see you, Miss Nancy. Yes, big full moon with Mercury in retrograde. Blessings all around. It is that full moon, that Aquarius full moon today. And y'all know that I'm a whole Aquarius over here, a whole one, a whole one. My sun, my moon, my Venus, my Mars are all in Aquarius. So that's what we do over here, is some big Aquarius energy. And so, yes, we have a full moon to celebrate today. Miss Mandy is here today. She's still trying to wake up too, but she's here with that bee energy this morning. Good to see you, Miss Mandy. Miss Danielle is here today. Good morning. Good to see you. I hope we're ready for some good vibes, right? We're ready for some joy and some good vibes this morning. Let me know if y'all did anything exciting over the weekend. What did I do? I don't even know. I shared, I've kind of been going through it over here, health wise. And, it's been an interesting, It's been an interesting journey. I have dealt with chronic health issues since I was very, very young. Um, and it really started having an impact on my day to day life probably in the second grade, as early as the second grade. And so I've dealt with a lot of different things. And that has created, it's probably the one topic in my life that still creates quite a bit of anxiety when you go through a lot in the medical world. It can weigh heavily on you, and so I'm so thankful for all of the tools, and the mental health and spiritual health and all of that that I've collected throughout the years that help me through things like this. But when I'm going through it, I just have to kind of back up a minute and allow myself to focus on one thing at a time. And so I'm really I'm so thankful for everybody that sort of checked in, and I can't tell you what it's meant to me. We've had some really, really deep, amazing conversations in Soul Saturday Morning Coffee the last few weeks. Things that should, and you all know how I love that word, should be real easy for us to answer, but they've been challenging ones, I think, for all of us. And some of them have been around just, being seen and heard and valued, those things that I feel like are so important in our lives as humans. They're natural human desires to be seen and heard and valued. And I really I have to thank everybody who has been a part of coffee and allowed themselves to be so vulnerable, and also to take a moment and share with me what my work, my shows, my coaching, a lot of the things that I've done throughout the years has meant to them. And so just thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate you. And it's helpful at a time when you're not feeling 100% to hear, hey, you're meaningful to me. Like, hey, I really missed Project Joy last week. So to everybody who reached out, thank you so much. I just means a lot to me. Means a lot to me. We had gone, I wanted to tell you guys really quickly. We had gone to see Lindsey Stirling last Thursday. And by the way, so this is so funny. Uh, you know, even with the health things, I made it a goal at the end of last year. I want to see as much music as possible this year, as many performances as possible. I want to see this year. And when I started really struggling, I told my husband, I was like, I don't care if you have to wheel me in. I don't care if you have to wheel me in on a bed with an IV. I'm going to these shows. It's happening. And it's been challenging because many of you guys that are empaths, or you deal with anxiety or whatever it is, what it's like to go into a big crowd, and then you have the sort of come down that has to happen for however long after. Sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's a week, sometimes it takes forever. So it really has taken a lot of energy for me to go to the shows as I planned on. But I really, it's such a space of healing for me. It's such a space of healing to be able to go. And so anyway, the very condensed story of this is that Sharon Saraga Walters, our own Queen of Gratitude here on Project Joy Live, she had sent me a message several weeks back saying that they had seen Lindsey Stirling in concert, and she was so amazing. And if we get a chance to go, we should go. And she noticed that they were going to have a show over here at Mohegan. And so I said, okay, that'll be great. I knew of Lindsey Stirling from America's Got Talent, but I didn't really I wasn't like a huge follower or fan or anything like that. And I'm certainly a fan now. The day after Sharon said that to me, I got tickets in my email to go see Lindsey Stirling. And I'm so happy that we went. We saw Walk Off the Earth, which is an amazing band who's been really big on YouTube. And so I saw Walk Off the Earth and then Lindsey Sterling. What an incredible, powerful show. So I will pass on the same message that Sharon gave to me the day before I received tickets, which is that if you get a chance to see Lindsey Sterling, you should go. It really is so beautiful. So Lindsey plays the rock violin, and she there's some vocalizations, and she dances with the violin. It is absolutely stunning. There's like aerial work being done, and the entire set was about the importance of taking care of ourselves and self-love and self-care and mental health and all of those things. And if that is ever something that you have dealt with in your life, or you have somebody in your life who has dealt with that, don't walk, run to go get tickets to see that show. Okay. So incredibly amazing. We also saw the Santana tribute out of New York at Ocean Beach on Friday night, which was really amazing. Santana's one of those bands that I think you forget how many hits they had, and then you hear it and you're like, oh my God, this is incredible. So that was really amazing. And I just, I sit there in my chair, and I got this, my husband hooked me up with this freaking amazing XL rocker. It's called my little beach chair is a rocking chair. It's so amazing. I sit there in my rocker and I just breathe in that salty sea air and let the music take over my whole body, and it's so healing. It's so healing and wonderful. And so I'm very excited because this next Saturday we are going to TLC and Shaggy, which is going to be super fun. And so I'm letting the music be my healer, and it's amazing and wonderful, and everything else is just kind of like go with the flow. And that's a choice that I've made, which we'll get into choices here in a little bit, which will be super fun to talk about. Let me go back and check in. Miss Brittany is here. Happy Monday. I know you're tired. However, thank you, Mandy. I really appreciate that. It's exhausting. It's exhausting, really. But I think we'll talk more in the power of choice. We will. Miss Rhonda's here this morning. Good morning. I'm assuming it's Miss Rhonda over at Spirit Sessions. Good morning. Good to see you. Maybe it could be Teresa too. You just never know. Good to see you guys this morning. Let's dive in and start celebrating today and talk about our national days today, because there's a couple good ones. All right, you guys, on our national days today, very excited. There's a couple good ones. It's National Aviation Day today. Don't know if you knew that, but it recognizes the pioneers of human flight. For centuries, humans have been fascinated by flight. In ancient China, kites flew to investigate weather. Inventors such as Leonardo da Vinci developed many ideas about flight too. Gliders and balloons lifted humans into the sky, but none of the invention gave a person control of where they flew. And then the article goes on to talk about all of the first powered flight by the Wright brothers, and the different flying machines. Really interesting to look back at the history of flight. So happy National Aviation Day today. It's also International Bow Day. Let me know if you or any of the kids in your life love to wear bows in their hair. It recognizes an accessory that has been changing fashion for centuries. Adding accessories makes just about any look so much better. During the 18th century, men primarily wore bows. Very interesting to find that out. However, as fashion trends changed, women began to wear the accessory too. They chose a variety of fabric styles and sizes to complement their wardrobe. Throughout the generations, bows continued to maintain their fashion power. While they never went out of style, designs and place dictated the fashion trends. I know for the longest time, Jojo Siwa had like the for today's stuff had the kind of the market on bows, and you can still buy those bows everywhere, which is wild to me. And then Bose is still it makes sense that it's like by place too. You don't see it as much here in New England, as Bose were a real big deal down south. And so just depends where you live, I guess, and the time. And we know too, just like everything else, styles come back around. So Bose may go, but they will probably be back like everything else is my point. It's National Soft Ice Cream Day. Do you guys prefer, let me know in the comments, do you prefer hard ice cream like scoopable ice cream, or do you prefer soft serve? National Soft Ice Cream Day on August 19th gives us a tasty way to cool off on a hot summer day. Whether you enjoy it in a bowl or on a cone, grab some soft serve and enjoy. In 1934, on Memorial Day weekend in Hartsdale, New York, Tom Carvel had a flat tire. After pulling his ice cream truck into a parking lot, the businessman knew his product was melting. As vacationers drove by, Carvel sold the softened ice cream to them. Surprisingly, they loved the soft ice cream. The potential for a new dessert was not lost on the salesman. Instead of a roving ice cream truck, Carvel could have a fixed location with soft ice cream. 2 years later, Tom Carvel opened his first ice cream store on the site where his truck broke down. Isn't that wild? I never knew this story. In preceding years, Carvel presented a super low temperature ice cream machine and created a secret formula ice cream. It wasn't long before other businesses began to pop up. The hard ice cream industry began to object. Despite both products having similar flavors, servings, and enjoyment, they were different. Hard ice cream businesses did suffer a reduction in revenue during the first years of soft ice cream's popularity. Even the Minnesota legislature passed laws prohibiting the sale, technically by law it was considered to be ice milk, of soft serve ice cream from a machine. It had to be sold prepackaged. The law was later changed, and that comes from the Star Tribune, August 19th, 1951. Isn't that wild that there was a law saying no soft serve because that harms the hard ice cream market? Wild to me. I never knew any of that. Never knew that. That's crazy. That is crazy. So happy National Soft Ice Cream Day. Let me know which one you prefer. I will come check in with you guys in just a moment. Finally, it's one of my favorite days of the whole year. It's National Potato Day, friends. I love potatoes, and frankly, potatoes, listen, sometimes they get a bad rap, but there's a lot of misinformation out there about potatoes, first of all. Second of all, the other vegetables aren't even trying. Potatoes can be so many things in so many dishes. And if you just don't even like to eat them, potatoes can make vodka. So hello, happy National Potato Day in whatever way you like to celebrate. Da, 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 da. Mandy said, I'm here for you. We're going to use the power of the moon to help, and I'm sending some healing energy over to you. Thank you so much. Yes, lean into that moon. Good morning, Mike. Good to see you today. Happy Monday. It's Judith. Oh, it's Ralph's birthday today. Okay, I'm writing it down. That's coming up soon, guys, but I'm writing it down. Ralph's birthday. Hi, Judith, and happy heavenly birthday to Ralph. Yes, love Minnie Mouse Bose, Jojo Bose. We still have Jojo Bose roaming around here, even though she in a very different era now. That's all I have to say about that. Yes, love ice cream. I don't discriminate either. I love soft ice cream, hard ice cream, but I do have memories. And Danielle might remember the Mr. Softy truck that used to come around the neighborhood when we were little. I love some Mr. Softy, let me tell you. Oh my God, so good. Soft serve coconut or almond. Yes, I love that. So we have so many places locally that have gotten the non-dairy soft serve, which yes, Carvel used to be the way to go, man. There's Nancy, Mr. Softy. Yes, Mr. Softy truck, 100%. So there was a lot of soft serve drama. There was. Mr. Frosty, there in New York. Potatoes are amazing. So many colors, great in potassium, 100%. My ancestors are from Prince Edward Island. Is the potato capital of the world. I did not know that. I need to go look at that. Mr. Softy, there it is. And we're here for the potatoes and the ice cream today, everybody. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Let me know how you are celebrating today. And with that, let's get to our daily uplift, which we're going to dive into our next pillar of joy, which is the power of choice. Here we go. All right, my friends. So we have talked about some different things. I've been sharing, had it on my heart to share about some of the pillars of joy. I started thinking, what are some of those things within myself that I feel like are an absolute must for me to live with joy the way that I do? And so I'm thinking about all of these things, and we talked about, I used kind of an analogy of something that happened to me with a flag, and realizing that recognizing everything and every person as a potential sign or symbol of my life is such a huge part of living with joy, because that helps us lean into the knowing that the universe, God, however you want to view it, is working for us and not against us. And so that was one part that I talked about. This week, we are diving into the power of choice, which, dare I say, is probably at the top of the list when it comes to joy for me. And today in part one, we're going to talk about the first fact about the power of choice, and that is that there are always choices. There are always choices. Okay. So we're going to dive into that today, because this is a fundamental pillar of joy in our lives. So let's start with the simple yet profound truth. There are always choices. It might not always feel that way. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations where the path ahead seems dark, narrow, or completely blocked off. We might feel trapped. We might feel powerless, and as if life is happening to us rather than us actively participating in it. Or in other words, like I said before, happening for us. But the reality is, even in those moments, there are choices that, when acknowledged, and that's the big part of this here, can bring us a sense of empowerment and joy into our lives. So the power of choice is not just about making decisions when the options are clear and easy. So that's easy enough to say. If we see the choices, we go, oh, yay, there are choices, and we can pick one. It's about recognizing them in even the murkiest of waters, that there are choices to be made. Sometimes those choices are hidden in plain sight, obscured by fear, doubt, or uncertainty. Other times, we might not want to accept the choices that are in front of us because they challenge or our comfort zones, or force us to confront difficult truths. And yes, sometimes the choices might not be what we hoped for or envisioned for ourselves. Anybody out there ever had to make a difficult choice where it seems like all the choices laid out in front of us are not ones that we want to pick? I've been there so many times myself, where I feel like you're having to choose between the lesser of two evils, right? And this power of choice is such perfect timing as we lead into November. But here's the beautiful part. The very existence of choice, no matter how challenging, is a gift. It's a reminder that we are never truly stuck. Life is constantly offering us the opportunity to choose our reactions, to choose our perspective, to choose our paths forward. And this, my friends, is where the joy begins to blossom. I have used this example often on this show. There was a little girl that was kidnapped, and I can't remember right now, names completely slipping my mind, but she was kidnapped and held captive for so long. And there were several interviews where she was asked, how did you survive this? How did you keep going? And she said, every day she knew when she woke up that she had the choice to be upset or grateful or find the joy, or there were choices. And because so many people are like, well, you didn't have a choice, you were held captive, you were held against your will. And she's like, no, but every single day I had the choice of how I was going to react to what was going on. I had the choice of what my behavior was going to be, what my mindset was going to look like. And so it's so important for us, especially as we look at the visible choices, the very physical, tangible choices in front of us, right? We come to a crossroad, we can go left or right. There's still other choices to be had there, no matter which way we want to go. And we're going to dive in a little bit more to that in part 2 on Wednesday. But there's always other choices there besides just black or white, left or right. And so imagine for a moment that you're standing at a crossroads. One path is well trodden, familiar, and perhaps a little too comfortable. And the other path is unknown. Maybe it's a bit intimidating. Then there's the third option. See, we didn't even talk about that a second ago. To stay right where you are and to not choose at all, because to not choose is also a choice. Every step you take, every decision you make is an act of creation. Isn't that beautiful? Every step you take, every decision you make is an act of creation. You are crafting your life moment to moment through the choices that you embrace. Now, I know that sometimes it feels easier to deny that we have choices, especially when we're faced with difficult circumstances. It is really tempting and really easy to say, I don't have a choice. There is nothing I can do. Or how many times, raise your hand out there, how many times have you said, it is what it is. It is what it is. Anybody? Bueller? It is what it is. I cannot tell you how many times I've said that because it's too many to even count. But even in those moments, the power of choice remains. We can choose how we perceive the situation. We can choose to look for hidden opportunities. We can choose to seek help or take a step back or even to let go. The choice is always there waiting for us to recognize it. And there's something powerful to consider here. Again, is that not choosing is also a choice. When we refuse to make a decision, when we let life pass us by, we are still making a choice. And sometimes that choice is one that relinquishes our power to allow circumstances and other people to dictate our path. That's still a choice to be made. So, but when we embrace the power of choice, even in the smallest of decisions, we reclaim our agency, our own power. We ignite joy when we realize and just go, hey, I have a choice here. So today I invite you to take a moment to reflect. Where in your life do you feel like you have no choice? What options might be hiding in the shadows, waiting for you to acknowledge them? How can you shift your perspective to see the choices available to you, even when they are not the ones you were hoping for? Even when they are not the ones you are hoping for. The joy is not always in the choice itself, but the recognition that you have the power to choose. This realization can be liberating, uplifting, and deeply joyful. Deeply, deeply joyful. I want to go back and visit over here. Yes, yes, yes. We are going through I'm so glad that you needed this today, Mandy. I needed that too. It might have been JC Danielle. I cannot remember for the life of me. I've got to go back and check that out. Man's Search for Meaning is a great book about choices too. I love that. Also, awesome. Yes. And sometimes yeah, okay. So Mandy said, or Rhonda said, not a fan of decisions by default, rather it be a wrong decision than a forced one. Yeah. I think, and I don't think that there are really what we're talking about here today in recognizing that there are choices is that even if the physical choice is by default, it really isn't by default, because even if we are forced into a choice, like a physical choice, we still have the choice of how we process that in our brains. Yes, say there's so many people hate that saying. It is what it is. And sometimes, I recognize for myself, I say that saying, it is what it is, as being like, because I don't know what else to say in the moment. Um, I recognize I've said it during those times, but we do have to watch that a little bit, because I think that does add a sense of powerlessness to a situation when we just throw up our hand and go, well, it is what it is, or what will be will be. That doesn't say to me that my mindset is in the right place. It really doesn't. And so I'm thinking about that more now. It's my own breakthroughs and joy and awareness today. And I do want to lean into too what we've talked about, you know, there being no choice being a choice, because I think sometimes making choices can be really challenging for us. It can be really challenging for me. Anybody else out there, please don't leave me alone in this, okay? Anybody else out there challenging, just trying to figure out where to go to eat? Anybody else? Anybody else? Sometimes I'll be like, oh, but if I don't pick this, then I could have the other one. And then what if I don't like it? And what a lot of those questions seep in when we have to make choices, right? Making us more indecisive. And that'll play into what we talk about in parts 2 and 3, because expanding beyond the black and white, what is seen and unseen, and really heading into that that mindset. Okay, good. I'm not alone. And literally drives Miguel crazy. It drives Philip crazy. And sometimes it's them too. Sometimes it's them too. Literally everyone else. Good morning, Jeannie. Good to see you today. So yes, we've all been in that position, I think, where we have difficulty choosing. And I think one of the questions we can ask ourselves is, why is it difficult for us to choose in this moment? What is making this difficult? And sometimes it's the fear that we're making the wrong choice. It's the fear of maybe we're going to upset somebody else with the choice that we make. It could be any number of things that hold us back from making those choices. But I think if we can go back to the beginning and work on shifting our mind where choices are concerned, that's where that pillar of joy comes from. I feel like for me is really that there are always choices. And one of the mantras that I say to myself is, I have a choice here. I have a choice here. When I can't see the choices laid out in front of me, when I can't see that I have the power within me, I will say to myself, I have a choice here, even if I can't feel it, because if I keep repeating that, then the creativity kind of sparks a little bit and I can go, okay. And speaking of creativity, I know for a fact that the majority of the people that are watching this show here today are very, very creative people. I see you guys day in and day out coming up with so many ideas for so many different things. So my quest for you today, my hope for you today, is for you to lean into that creativity when it comes to choices. Because if you can be creative about everything else, then you can see that there are literally a palette of choices laid out in front of you for every single situation or circumstance that you face, and that it's never just black and white. And we're going to dive into that further on Wednesday's episode of Project Joy Live. So we're going to do that coming up on Wednesday. All of that said, we're going to take a really quick break. We're going to check out the Friendship Paradox teaser. The Breakthrough Show commercial. We'll be back with birthdays and what's coming up on the network later this week. I'll see you guys in a moment.
On April 4th, I was 90 years old, grandson of slaves. My parents were first generation free. A long time ago, I embraced the definition of love. Love is the experience of well-being. And a friend is one who mutually shares that experience of well-being with you, which opens up almost infinite creative possibilities.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. It is Monday, August 19th, 2024. You guys believe we're more than halfway through August? Who's excited? Probably no one. That's okay. I want to go through really quickly because some of these are really good. It's the fear that I can't find fried green tomatoes and fried mushrooms all in the same restaurant, right? Like sometimes picking the restaurant. But see, then I have to blow that fear out of the water, because it's like, who says that you can't just order takeout from more than one restaurant? Go ahead and get the fried green tomatoes at one and the fried mushrooms at the other, and go home and have a damn buffet. Who says you can't do that? I will tell you. So when I was pregnant with my oldest son, Clay, I had one of those moments. And I know some of y'all that have been pregnant understand what I'm talking about right now. I wanted all the things at the same time. And I did just that. I ordered a pizza. I ordered Chinese. I ordered Outback. I ordered so many things. And I had food for several days. I spread out and had myself a damn picnic, because there are no picnic or restaurant police. Okay. So I say you should just do that. Judith said, too many choices stresses her out. And I get that too. I think that's part of it as well. And also, Mandy, completely resonate with that. It's who suffers from my choices. That part stops me all the time. I'm trying to figure out how to just make the choice. I think, going back to parenting, that's something that a lot of us deal with, because that are parents, because we know that whatever choices we make are going to affect them. Right. And that's tough. So going back, not excited about summer coming to an end. Yeah, but we already know how I feel about that. I already know how to feel about that. Yes. Lean into creativity. And I will get to that in just a moment, Miss Brittany. Also, we have birthdays to celebrate today. So let's do that right now.
Happy birthday to you.
Birthday time. All right. In the world of celebrity, Matthew Perry that passed away last year from the show Friends, amongst other things. Today was his birthday. Interesting to see the news come out about people being arrested in the case of his death. Wild that story is continuing, but here we are. Happy birthday. May he rest in peace today. For his birthday, John Stamos, actor, you might remember him from Full House, 61 years old today. President Bill Clinton, 78 years old today. Rapper Fat Joe, 54 years old today. Fat Joe, 54. Also, Nate Dogg, who passed away in 2011, had a birthday today. Over the last few days, there have been several Breakthrough Show Network alumni that have had birthdays. Annie Holmes, Carmela Riley, Benjamin Wong. Happy birthday to all of you. One of my middle school teachers, Marion Galbraith, used to be the mayor of Groton, Connecticut. Happy birthday, Marion Galbraith. Also, today, we have a couple of heavenly birthdays. Ralph Finneran that Judith mentioned had a birthday today. And then also my mother-in-law, Ann Clausey, and my brother's fiance, one of my dear friends, Cheryl Ebbinghaus, had a birthday today as well. And also Rick Washington has a birthday too. So happy birthday to you. So let's get all of our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matthew Perry, John Stamos, Bill Clinton, Fat Joe, Nate Dogg, Annie Holmes, Carmela Riley, Benjamin Wong, Marion Galbraith, Ann Clausey, Cheryl Ebbinghaus, Ralph Finneran, and Rick Washington. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating, whether here or on the other side. Happy birthday. Also, we've got a great week happening here on the Breakthrough Show Network. So let's talk about it really quick now before we get to, because we have co-working. Co-working is coming up very soon. All right, so very excited that we have Pomodoro happening today, virtual co-working happening at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Check in at 9:55. So we're in about 12 minutes. You got to check in. Okay. So start getting ready now. Don't turn off the show, but just start getting ready. We have co-working today, 9:55, Wednesday at 1:55, and Friday at 9:55. So check in for those. We have Craft Circle coming up today at 2 p.m. Eastern time in the Breakthrough Show Network virtual community, which I'll tell you how to get there in just a moment. Let's see what else we have happening. We have Project Joy. We're going to continue this conversation about choices on Wednesday and Friday this week, 9 a.m. Eastern time. That is the plan. And then, of course, we have Soul Saturday Morning Coffee coming up on Saturday. I talked about that at the beginning of the show today. And I highly recommend that if you are looking for connection, friendship, a place to learn how to effectively communicate, to go down the rabbit hole, to explore parts of yourself that you never even dreamed possible, I invite you to join us every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for Soul Saturday Morning Coffee. For all of our events, you can go to the breakthroughshownetwork.club, the breakthroughshownetwork.club. If you happen to go to .com, there will still be a button there to take you to our virtual community. But when you go there, you're going to see a layout of lots of different rooms. Pomodoro happens in our collaborative co-working room. You have Craft Circle that happens in our artist studio. You can get to any of the rooms by clicking the rooms or simply go down to the calendar that's there, and you can find your way that direction as well. But the community is open at the breakthroughshownetwork.club. You can visit 24/7, and I am very excited to announce that in 2 Fridays, so on the 30th, we have the creator of Go Brunch, Richard Lowenthal himself, will be joining us for an episode of the Breakthrough Show. That's at 1 p.m. on the 30th. I'm so excited about that because he is the creator of the software that we use in our virtual community. So definitely join us for that. We would love to have you there. It's going to be so much fun. All right. Yes, we got Brittany's Craft Circle coming up. Yes. Happy birthday to all that are celebrating. Absolutely. So happy to celebrate with you, Judith. And Judith, you got to come in and check out our virtual community because it's been a minute since we chat anyway. So yes. It is going to be so amazing to ask Richard some questions. I'm very excited about that. And thank you, Brittany. We would not have it any other way than to have you part of the virtual community. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm so happy that this topic of choices and pillars of joy really resonates with you all. And we're going to continue this conversation on Wednesday and Friday this week. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you to make every day a great day for a breakthrough and make joy a priority in your life today and every day because you are the joy. And I'll see you guys Wednesday. Bye, everybody.
I've been lifting myself up, yeah, I've been climbing.